Tools you will need: T15 bit, screwdriver or drill, deck plate removal. First, remove the grip tape on the outside to reveal the screws. Use your bit to remove the screws. Once the screws are removed, you'll be able to remove the deck plate. The controller is wedged into a fire retardant, so it may be difficult. First thing, when you lift up the deck plate, remove your gasket and don't lose it. That helps keep the water out. And now your deck plate is removed. Removing the controller. Review all your wires. Take the control box out with the heat sink. This is where it's a good idea to have different colored tapes, so that you can mark some of the wires and hook them together so that you know that you're correctly installing and wiring your new controller. Lots of pictures help. Keep pictures as you go. Once you've labeled everything, take a Phillips head screwdriver, take apart these boxes. Be sure to remember how it goes. Disconnect your wires. As you can see, I labeled them 1 and 2. Label both sides. You can see that one comes out of the right side of the box, one comes out of the left-hand side of the box. Label those accordingly on your new controller. The one that comes out of the left side of the box, the one that comes out of the right side of the box. As you can see, I have the numbers on them. You'll need a pair of scissors. There should be zip ties on most of your connectors. You're going to need to remove those. Carefully not to damage the connections. That's our black and gray wire. Double green. You can find those on this one. There's your double green. There's your black and the gray wire. The black and the gray wire should have one connection already connected. The double green has another connection. Blue and an orange, blue, orange, and green. As I disconnect the black and gray wire, I'll bring this controller over here, connect it on this side. Make sure that your pins are lined up appropriately so that they slide in. You should not have to force it. There should be a slight click, and you shouldn't be able to pull it apart once it's together. From there, we'll do the double green wire. On your new controller, find your double green wire. Again, line up your pins. You shouldn't have to force it. I try to do the longer wires first, so that way I got more room for my controller. If you hook these up right now, it's going to be a tight squeeze trying to do your controller. I'll stop here so that I can remove the bolts from these connections. Make sure that you remember the orientation of your connections. Yellow, green, blue is what the controller will be that you're hooking up. When you hook them up, your blue should be connected to the yellow. Your green should be connected to the green, and your new yellow should be connected to the blue. This is on the taped controller. As you can see, the wires that go to this box will be taped coming out of the controller. The wires that go to this box will not be taped going to the controller. But again, the same orientation of the wire. Blue to yellow, green to green, yellow to blue. And I'll pause here. And so we're still connecting these. Get them on there. And for the most part, you can finger tighten it. Once you get it finger tightened, you use your wrench and just give it like a quarter turn to make sure it's tightened really well. I try to keep the ones from the actual scooter on the bottom and the ones from the controller on the top when you put the loop on the peg. And then screw it down that way. That'll make it easier to change out any controllers in the future. So now when we match up the tops, our wires should match up. To our boxes. So for the taped one, we hold it over our wires. You can see we got on the bottom our yellow, green, and blue wire, and on top blue, green, and yellow wire. So this one is wired correctly. We can use our screwdriver, which is around here somewhere, with a Phillips head screwdriver, which is also right there. I think right there. And gently screw our box back together. Be very careful not to over tighten. Put the final torque on these. You do want to still make sure that they're good and tight, so that way that there's a good connection for any bumps that you hit. They don't jar loose. Again, we'll put our top up against it and you should see your labels. Blue, yellow, green to green, yellow to blue. After you've checked that, you can again screw it back on. Be careful not to over tighten. From here, we'll continue with our wires. Find the white wire and the green and red black wire. We'll disconnect our white wire, the green, red, and black wire. I'm going to pull them out from under here just to make them easier to work with. We'll connect the white wire. Again, make sure your pins always line up. So on this one, I need the green, red, and black wire, which is somewhere here. Thank you. The green, red, and black wire. Make sure that's lined up correctly. Okay, now the red, orange, and black wire. Disconnect that from the previous controller. Push the little clip on the back. Squeeze the sides. Comes out easier. Now over here, we will find the red, black, and orange, which is this wire. Make sure they're kind of separated so we won't have a problem with that one later. And we'll go ahead and connect the red, black, and orange to the red, black, and green. Okay, next we have this one. It's got multi-wires on it. It's the only one like this. Here it is. Disconnect this, same way. Push down, squeeze, pull. That's removed. Now connect the new one. Make sure it's in there and seated good and doesn't come apart. There's that. Have one wire left. Double white and black. Here it is. The double white and black. Should have another connection which is just all white wires on the other side. You can see it here on the old controller. The black and white split off and the white splits off to a separate terminal. You don't have to worry about this terminal. It's already connected over here. So remove the black and white wire. Plug that into your new black and white wire. And you can now remove your old controller. To complete connecting your controller, you need to make sure that you have room and that nothing will be sitting under your controller so that this can seat properly on the ground in your box here with room. As you can see, if you have stuff under here, this is not going to fit, because you also have to make sure that you put the retardant on top of it to help dissipate the heat. on the bottom of your deck plate. We still need to connect these connectors to complete our controller. Next, you want to make sure that these connections are going to be easily accessible. These are the only ones we got left to plug in. But first, before we do that, let's clear out our wires at the bottom so that we can make sure that this is definitely going to sit on the bottom without any protrusions under it to press up. If you have anything under it, there's a chance that you're going to damage wires, or that there's going to be a hump in your deck and you're going to be standing on your heat sink and controller. Just kind of squeeze everything over. Make a few adjustments. And once you got it seated down in there like that, you know you're good. As you can see, it's recessed a little bit right here. If yours is at this lip or above this lip, you still have wires under your control box. You'll need to adjust it and move those wires from beneath it. Now here we'll look for the ones that we labeled earlier. Number 1. Here they are. We need to connect our 1s and 2s here. 2 is the easiest for me, so I'll start with that. As you can see, one side's rounded on both pieces. That's how you connect it together and make it fit. Definitely a bit of a live connection there. I don't know why we got a spark. Again, connect this battery. Ooh, don't like that. Don't know why we got that happening. Now, we should be all connected. Let's grab our keys. As you can see, our power is back on. We should be able to turn it on from here. In low mode. Now we'll check to make sure that everything is connected properly. Both motors are spinning in dual mode and turbo mode. Turn those off. Just the rear wheel is spinning. So the problem that I have has been fixed with the replacement of the controller.